Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Isolated Insights. So, this week we move on to Parshat Ki Tavo, where Moses continues his dialogue with the children of Israel prior to his death. And there's some beautiful points and some stark reminders of what happens when we do what is right, and equally when we do what is wrong. There's a really interesting verse in this week's portion, and it says, when you do what's right, and all these blessings should come onto you when you do what's right, and they shall reach you. Interesting word. They shall reach you. And equally, further on in the parasha, in the portion, it says a similar expression by the curses. And these curses will come onto you and they'll reach you. What does it mean they will reach you? Isn't that superfluous? As we know, every single word, every single letter is accounted for in Torah. So this word that should reach you, I mean, obviously, if God gives us blessings, I imagine they would be carried out. And equally, if God decided that we need some reminders, we need some pushing in certain areas, and we have some negative consequences for some of our actions, I would imagine if God decides it, then they would happen. So what does it mean God will give you blessings and they will reach you? So I think there's a really beautiful lesson that can be brought here. And I want to say a story that might bring this out. So there was a tremendous great rabbi called Reb Noach Weinberg, who lived, I think he passed away about 10 years ago or so. And he founded the Aish HaTorah movement, primarily in Jerusalem. There's a beautiful building right by the Western Wall. And he had many people who were searching for life's meaning come into his yeshiva, into his institution. And one particular teenage boy comes in, and not religious at all. And Rabbi Weinberg was talking to him about God. And he says to Rabbi Weinberg, he says, me and God, we're like this. We're tight. We're tight. Says Rabbi Weinberg, oh yeah? And the guy says, yes, I'll prove it to you. He says, one time I was riding my motorcycle. I was going pretty fast down a beautiful, scenic, cliffside route. And he said, I was going fast, and suddenly, a sharp bend, a monster truck came right at me, and I swerved to the left. I fell completely off the cliff. He says, and as I was falling, a branch was sticking out, and I grabbed onto the branch, and I watched as my motorcycle fell, smashing down thousands of feet below. But thankfully, I gained my footing, and I was able to pull myself back up. He said, you see, if God wouldn't like me, he wouldn't have put that branch there for me. And Rabbi Weinberg turned to him and said, that's really true. But I want you to think about something else. He says, who do you think was the one that sent the monster truck that way in the first place? So here's a point. We have consequences for our actions because God wants us to look deeper. And when we fail to do so, when we fail to look at the things around us and grow from them, and rather we keep making mistakes, then occasionally we need reminders of what we need to be doing. And if we don't learn the right way, sometimes God needs to give us a little bit of a harsher way to learn. And so when God says the curses, and Torah says that the curses will come onto you and they'll reach you, as in, it's one thing to have curses, but it's to have a curse, but or consequences, but it's another thing for it to reach you, for you to be able to see what's going on, and for that to have an impact in you and ultimately grow, which is why they're there. But equally so is with blessings in life. There are so many blessings. We are so blessed. But what's the point of being rich when you're not happy with that and you just want more? What's the point of being able to have all the gifts of life, but without appreciating them, without realizing who they came from, without realizing the benefits of them to be able to grow from them? And that's a blessing here, is that not only will you be blessed, but they will reach you. They will have an impact on you. You'll be able to grow from them. You'll be able to notice them. We have in our lives, unfortunately, some negative consequences, but we also have many, many beautiful gifts, everyday gifts, whether it's our breathing, which in today's situation, unfortunately, we've learned to appreciate the mere fact that we're able to just carry on life and continue breathing easily. But it's a gift. It's a gift that, if we think about it, it can have an impact on us. We can appreciate that. We can grow from that and connect to life more on a deeper level. And just the fact that we have a house to live in, the fact that we're safe, and the fact that we're able to hopefully have, even if it's the bare minimum, but we're able to live somewhat decently. That is a beautiful blessing. So not only is the blessings there, but if we can look at them and appreciate them, if they reach us, if they reach deep down into us, and we can see them and grow from them, and they have an impact in our life, that is another level. That is a level which is really beautiful. And it's a really beautiful way to connect to life and to see everything around us and to really appreciate them. Wishing you a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat. Take care, be well.